The White House press room hummed with restless anticipation, a sea of journalists clutching notepads and phones, expecting another routine briefing. The air shifted when Tulsi Gabbard stepped to the podium. Her black suit was sharp, her gaze piercing, exuding a quiet intensity that silenced the room. No introductions, no pleasantries. She leaned into the microphone, her voice steady as steel. The 2020 U.S. presidential election was undermined, she said. The words landed like a grenade. Cameras whirred, reporters froze. After months of investigation, we've confirmed voting systems in key states were connected to the internet, a blatant violation of security protocols. A screen behind her lit up with server logs, IP addresses, and access trails, each entry glowing like evidence in a crime scene. These weren't oversights, Tulsi continued, her tone slicing through the murmurs. Known vulnerabilities were exploited with intent. A journalist, voice unsteady, interrupted. "Director Gabbard, who's behind this?" Tulsi's eyes locked onto the camera, unblinking. "The office of the Vice President." Chaos erupted. Shouts, flashing bulbs, phones thrust upward. She stood unmoved, then added, "Kamala Harris's office issued orders to bypass electronic audits and network safeguards, claiming it was for voter efficiency. It wasn't. It opened a back door." Across the country, another stage was set. In New York, the Daily Show studio buzzed with laughter as Jon Stewart strode out, his trademark smirk catching the spotlight. The crowd roared, but his eyes gleamed with purpose. "Tonight," he said, settling at his desk, "we're talking about the White House's youngest spokesperson, Caroline Leavitt, Trump's Gen Z mouthpiece, caught in a scandal that's rocking the nation." He leaned forward, voice dripping with mockery. "You heard about Tulsi Gabbard's bombshell, right? Voter fraud tied to Kamala Harris. And Leavitt's out there defending Trump, dodging questions about a leaked signal chat. Yup, military plans to hit the Houthis, accidentally sent to a reporter. I'm not saying it was her, but—" He winked, and the audience howled. Stewart held up a fake text screenshot. "Caroline handled the press. Trump's hitting the Houthis." "Looks real, doesn't it?" he quipped, grinning. "She calls it fake news. I call it cosmic incompetence." The crowd ate it up, but Stewart wasn't done. "Caroline tweeted she's not scared of me, says she'll come here unedited. So, Leavitt, let's do it. Explain the leak, explain Trump, or just pray you get through me." He mimed praying, sparking more laughter, then swung his arm for emphasis, accidentally shattering his coffee mug. Glass flew, a small cut bled on his hand. "Wow, I'm bleeding for you, Caroline," he laughed, holding it up. The clip went viral instantly. In Washington, Tulsi's office had become a fortress of evidence. Walls were lined with electoral maps. Screens glowed with data. Ethan Raines, a DARPA cyber expert, stood before her team, pointing to a graph. "Identical backdoor access patterns in Pennsylvania, Georgia, Arizona," he said. "Admin-level logins, timed to poll closings. This wasn't a hack. Someone handed over the keys." Tulsi's jaw tightened. Who had that access? Ethan hesitated, then pulled up a file. Orders traced to Harris's senior aide. Subpoenas flew out to election officials, demanding logs and records. Whistleblowers emerged. A Fulton County tech, a Maricopa analyst, a Philadelphia clerk, all telling the same story. Mysterious updates, remote sessions, orders to ignore red flags. "We were told it was routine," one said, voice distorted on air. It wasn't. Tulsi stared at a memo on her desk, signed by Harris's team. "Deactivate audit protocols for voter fluidity." She muttered, "This isn't a flaw. It's a feature." Meanwhile, Caroline Leavitt sat in a D.C. hotel room, scrolling X. Stewart's mug-breaking clip looped endlessly, paired with number Stewart versus Leavitt. Her phone buzzed, Trump's team urging caution. But she'd already tweeted, "Stewart, I'm in, unedited. You want truth? I'll bring it." Her heart raced, but a smile crept across her face. She wasn't backing down. In New York, Stewart prepped like a boxer before a fight. "Get me everything on Leavitt," he told his team, circling signal leak on a whiteboard. "She's 27, thinks she can out-talk me on my turf. I'll show her truth my way." An assistant asked, "Can she handle you?" Stewart laughed. "She's Trump's puppet. She doesn't stand a chance." The Daily Show studio pulsed with energy, lights blazing, crowd roaring. Stewart walked out, waving, then sat, his smirk sharp as ever. "Tonight, we've got Caroline Leavitt, who says she's not afraid of me. Let's bring her out." Leavitt emerged in a navy suit, blonde hair tied back, nodding to the crowd before sitting across from him. Their eyes locked. Hunter versus challenger. "Caroline, welcome," Stewart said, voice warm but laced with venom. "How's it feel facing a 61-year-old with a mic after I turned your signal mess into a national joke?" The audience laughed. Leavitt's smile was faint but steady. "I'm here for the truth, Jon. Joke all you want. I'm not scared of you." Stewart raised an eyebrow, feigning surprise. "Truth? Great. Let's talk signal. You leaked Trump's Houthi plans to a reporter, Jeffrey Goldberg, right? How does that happen?" The crowd chuckled. Leavitt inhaled softly. "It was a misunderstanding, blown out of proportion by folks like you. I didn't add anyone to that chat. It wasn't my operation." Stewart pounced, slapping his desk. "A misunderstanding? You're the press secretary. Your job is controlling the story, not giving Goldberg a VIP pass to the Pentagon." Laughter roared. He leaned closer. "You're 27, Trump's Gen Z puppet. Do you even know what you're doing, or just reading his scripts?" The jab stung, but Leavitt fired back. "I'm nobody's puppet, Jon. I'm here because I believe in our work." Stewart smirked, undeterred. "Believe? When Trump tells you to cover up signal, do you just pray for answers?" He clasped his hands, mimicking prayer, sending the crowd into hysterics. "I'm not against faith, but if God said don't leak, you heard share it with the world." He held up the fake text again, milking the laughs. "Youngest press secretary ever, learning by blowing it all up." Leavitt gripped her chair, voice firm. "You're spinning a story that's not real, Jon. I'm not here to entertain you. I serve the American people." Stewart circled his desk, theatrical. "Picture this. Caroline, phone buzzing, Trump texts, 'Hit the Houthis.' She replies, 'I got the press.' Then, boom, Goldberg's in the chat." The crowd howled, but Leavitt cut in, "That's fiction, Jon." "You're good at it." He grinned, unfazed. "Fiction. You leaked it, you work for Trump, and you think I'll go easy because you're young? Nope. Unedited truth, no mercy." The counterpunch in Washington. The crisis deepened. Tulsi's team uncovered a bombshell. Dominion machine code altered internally, disabling voter ID checks. Ethan pointed to a timestamp. "Pushed election night. Not foreign, our own engineers." Tulsi whispered, "Treason in plain sight." A whistleblower's audio surfaced, voice masked. "We were told to bypass everything." Orders from Harris's team, protests swelled. Red states chanted Tulsi's name. Blue cities demanded answers. X trended number paper ballots, number election truth. Back in the studio, Leavitt sat under Stewart's barrage, his smirk wide as the crowd cheered. "You've said nothing, Caroline, just, I'm not a puppet. What's your truth beyond prayers and signal disasters?" Leavitt took a breath, a spark in her eyes. "Jon, you want truth? You're exposing me, but let's expose you." The audience hushed. Stewart's smirk faltered. "Oh, expose me? Go ahead, kid." She leaned forward, voice razor-sharp. "You mock my faith, my age, Trump, but have you looked in the mirror?" She nodded off stage, and a screen lit up with an old Daily Show clip. Stewart praising social media censorship to protect democracy. Murmurs spread. "That's you, Jon," Leavitt said, pointing. "You backed limiting free speech when it suited you, but now you slam Trump for less. Who's the propagandist here?" The crowd was silent, then applause broke out. Stewart forced a laugh. "Old news, Caroline. I've evolved." She cut him off. "Evolved? You're neutral when it's convenient. I don't pretend like you do." Standing, she faced the audience. "He wants to make me a joke. Young, faithful, Trump's team. But here's my question, Jon. Do you dare call out your show's funders? The corporations, the elites you dodge? Or am I just an easy target at 27? Applause thundered. Stewart stumbled, joking. "What, you learned that from Trump?" But his voice wavered. Leavitt pressed closer. "No, Jon, this is truth you avoid. You mock my beliefs, but I'm not hiding like you, a propagandist posing as a comedian. I'm not your clown." The studio shook with cheers, not for Stewart, but Leavitt. He raised his hands, grinning weakly. "Okay, you scored a point, but I've got more questions." His edge was gone. Leavitt sat, smiling faintly. "Ask away, Jon. Something real, not jokes." He tried pivoting to signal, but she shut it down. "I've said it's a mistake. It doesn't define me. You define yourself by tearing others down, then dodge when called out. That's our difference." The crowd clapped louder, longer. Stewart laughed, raising his hands. "You're tough, Caroline. Not a puppet tonight." But the tide had turned. In Washington, Tulsi's evidence piled higher. A leaked email from Harris's team. Swing counties, push update, disable audits. Redline protocol logs showed vote tweaks rehearsed months prior. Crowds flooded state capitals, demanding paper ballots. A senator crossed lines calling for hearings. "This is constitutional," he said on air. Harris's team crumbled. Resignations. A deleted X post. "I couldn't stay." Tulsi released audio of contractors rigging failover loops to redirect votes. "We don't care who you voted for," a protester yelled. "We want our votes counted." On X, Leavitt's clip, her dropping Stewart's old video, exploded. Leavitt v. Stewart trended with election truth. Conservatives cheered. Caroline silenced Jon. Memes showed her at a mic, captioned, "Gen Z owns the old guard." Even neutrals nodded. She flipped his game. Respect. Stewart's fans scrambled, some admitting he underestimated her. Breitbart headlined, "Leavitt schools Stewart," while Vox grumbled, "She's still Trump's mouthpiece." Congress acted, ordering a revote with paper ballots overseen by bipartisan teams and volunteers. No machines, no doubts. Results swept in. Tulsi Gabbard won the presidency decisively. Harris conceded, voice flat. The people have spoken. But charges followed. Conspiracy to subvert the election. Aides pleaded guilty to obstruction, misinformation. The Digital Voting Integrity Act banned connected devices, signed by Tulsi amid cheers. "The people's correction," she called it. Leavitt's victory rippled. Trump tweeted, "Caroline crushed Stewart. Best spokesperson." Her briefings drew crowds. her confidence unshaken. "I faced Jon. Your questions don't scare me," she told reporters, smiling. Conservatives dubbed her Killer Caroline, urging future runs. "She's 27 and took down a giant," one ex-post read. "Imagine her at 40. Stewart returned, joking. "I invited Leavitt and became her sidekick." His laugh was hollow, his shine dimmed slightly. Critics noted he'd misjudged her youth, her faith making him seem petty. He remained a titan, but Leavitt's counterpunch left a mark. At the Capitol, Tulsi took her oath, hand on heart. "I swear to defend the Constitution," she said, the nation listening with renewed faith. A plaque was set, never by machine, always by the people. The 2020 election had fractured trust, but Gabbard and Leavitt, each in their arena, had fought for truth. Democracy didn't break, it rebooted.